elected seek out the best. 2 words to describe the activity. The Yoruba Unity Forum is conducted.
Be the first to know. From the north, south, east, west, and around Africa.
Presidential
we break the news.
Women in Nigeria.
Now you can catch all the actions live as the news breaks. We are Core TV News.
Welcome to Core TV Primetime
a
News.
24-hour news station.
You know, some of the world's most lovely and adorable people are born in February, especially on such a day like this, 10th of February. So if you're one of us, I'm saying congratulations to you and happy birthday. Of course, bear in mind that life is spent in the currency of time. So if you're really interested in making impact in this lifetime, you might also want to put some sort of value on time. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. I am excited to join you again this beautiful Monday, especially when you recall that about 4,000 people die every minute in the world. Now let's kick start with some very juicy stories. It's no longer news that the election dates have been postponed now to March 28 and April 11 of 2015, and both major political parties seem to be changing the slogan from February to March. Quite interesting. The stories that are breaking recent times. But another good news for the Nigerian electorate is that INEC has now extended the date of collections of the permanent voter cards. The date has now been extended by 4 weeks. Secretary to the Commission, Augusta Ogaku, said in a statement that the collection of the PVCs will continue until March the 8th. Looks like no one is going to have an excuse this time around to be able to get their PVCs. The extension, according to her, is a result of the decision to shift the general elections by 6 weeks. The INEC secretary also expressed hope that the extension will finally avail all registered voters who are yet to collect their PVCs the opportunity to do so. You also recall that yesterday we spoke with Kayode Dowu, the chief press secretary to INEC chairman, who also affirmed that trainings are ongoing for ad hoc staff, resident electoral commissioners, and every other staff member that would be working with INEC this time around. I also asked him about I recall that I asked him about the safety of both sensitive and insensitive materials that are already in their custody, and he assured us that all of the ballot papers are now at the central banks in all the respective states, and he can assure that those materials would not be compromised. Well, there's another interested one coming from Nigeria's leading opposition party, the APC. The party has now accused the military authorities of conniving with the People's Democratic Party to postpone the general election. Party chairman John Odigoyego made the allegation at a news conference in Abuja. He wondered why the military and security chiefs, including the National Security Advisor Sambo Dasuki, never raised security concerns until a few days to the presidential election.
Any further postponement can only lead to a constitutional crisis of major proportions. The Constitution provides for at least 30 days before the handover date, May 29th, for an election to be held. We have strong suspicions, in fact stronger than suspicions, but hope that this postponement is not part of the agenda to generate this constitutional crisis in the country. We are just recently recovering from a crisis precipitated by the famous June 12th crisis. We are aware of plans to intimidate and orchestrate the arrest of our leaders across the country on frivolous grounds. We are now aware of how the PDP used intimidation and arrest to rig the last governorship elections in Ekiti State. We are aware that this is the plan of the PDP in the current phase we're in. But we have no doubt at all, we have absolute faith that Nigerians will stand up to this. We have no doubt that the international community is also watching.
Okay, it looks as if there's also enough time in the hands of many people who would want to go to court. You recall that Jason was on strike at the time. The strike was called off, and now many electoral matters would also enjoy some visitation at the courts of law now that we have 6 weeks in our hands to play with. Now, both major players in this forthcoming election would be going to court as regards the eligibility of their candidacy as regards the 2015 election. For instance, a Federal High Court in Abuja has referred a suit challenging the eligibility of President Goodluck Jonathan for re-election to the Court of Appeal. Justice Mohammed took the decision on the basis of an application that was filed by the plaintiffs Adejumo Ajagbe and Olatoye Wahab. There were also issues as regards serving Mr. President, and on this basis, there were also talk as the other alternatives that would be required to serve him as regards this case. Well, the APC presidential candidate also is not absolved totally out of all this court saga. A Federal High Court in Abuja has also set a February 28 date for hearing in a suit challenging the eligibility of the APC presidential candidate Muhammadu Buhari. The suit is seeking the disqualification of the APC candidate, and it was filed by an Abuja-based lawyer, Max Zuaka, and has the Independent National Electoral Commission as co-defendant. Right, lots of drama taking place in the courts this season. Let's hope that we'll be able to bring all of these to a decisive end just before the March 28 rescheduled date for the election. If you will come back to me, MCR, if you can, I really appreciate that. Good. Let them see my pretty face. Now, there's another exciting trend to what is happening on the social media these days. It looks as if Boko Haram, that seem to be anti-Westernization, is taking more advantage of the YouTube. And that indeed is an anathema or irony, if you might say. In a quick reaction to the decision of INEC to postpone the election as a result of what they called coordinated operation in West African countries that will kickstart on February 14 for about some weeks as regards fighting insurgency, Boko Haram released a new video in which they claim, and they seem to be boasting, that they have all it takes to defeat a regional force fighting the extremists in Nigeria's far northeast, of course, with the collaboration coming from Niger and Cameroon. The Boko Haram leader, Abubakar Shekau, says in a 28-minute speech, one of 3 videos posted by the Islamists on YouTube, that the regional coalition will not achieve its aim. But there's a new twist in this new video. It seems to have some well-researched attached videos to it. In the second of the latest videos, images of the leader, Abubakar al-Baghdadi, are also shown along with archived footage and a voiceover recalling a battle between British colonial soldiers and fighters from the Sokoto Caliphate in northern Nigeria. Shekau has name-checked al-Baghdadi before, but it appears to be positioning Boko Haram in a wider jihadi context by showing the Sokoto Caliphate, which was dismantled by the British in the early 20th century. So the full video is just a click away if you really are interested. Another interesting video that is catching our attention on the show today would be the one released by a particular captain in the Nigerian military, and he is saying that he witnessed a particular secret meeting that involved certain stakeholders at the eve of the June 21 Ekiti election. Earlier, he had an interview on Sahara TV, and this is exactly how he puts it.
Since we entered Ekiti, that was 3 days to the election. That is when I realized that a lot of compromise has been made between my commander and those guys in question. It reached a peak stage, a day to the election, when we were called, though commander was called directly, that the State Minister of Defense want to see him. And he asked me to accompany him to the place. And it is customary in the military If a senior officer is going for any assignment, the junior ones accompanied him, which I did. So reaching Spotless Hotel in Ado Ekiti, we entered a room, and I saw the State Minister of Defense, the current Minister of Police Affairs, Omishure and Fayoshe were already in the room that we entered. So going by what had been happening, so I believed and I thought that this should be a venue that the whole compromise is going to be completed. That what necessitated my recording of the discussion, because I've been unhappy throughout prior to the meeting.
So what exactly did he record? You recall that he made mention of certain names. He alleged that the governor of Ekiti State, Fayoshe, was present in that particular meeting. He also alleged that Senator Iyola Omishure, as well as Brigadier General Aliyu Momo, Senator Musliu Obani Kuro, Honorable Abdul Karim, and Caleb Ulubolade, the Minister of Public Police Affairs, he alleged were present in that meeting. We got an excerpt of a 37-minute video. It's just about a few minutes, an excerpt of what he said he recorded and what he posted on YouTube.
I was in my house. Chief of Army Staff called me and told me he has briefed him. I gave me his number because I never met him before. And he told me you are a safe hands, he will perform, and if you have any issues, call me. And he told me that I have made it clear to him that you are do not stand for this election. Chief of Army Staff told me I've never met him before in my life. He only called me with instruction from the villa. Each time we explain this thing to this man, it's porous, everything is porous.
Anyway, I don't want us to, where we are now, General, you know, we had so many meetings that I don't believe that you have to resume in this institution now. The idea of having a ship to work together is that everybody should work together. There's no circumstances whatsoever for everybody to disarm. There are no circumstances whatsoever. Number one. Number two is that, let me just
this disarming of it. Is it the team that left? See, I'm a commander.
The team that left here.
Yes.
Wait, the team that left here with the sticker agreed so. And the people who disarmed.
We even said these stickers.
That's why we're worried.
Excuse me, sir. We even said these stickers must not be shared until this phone will come.
You can't do this.
They will now disable even police that want to help us. We can't continue like this. Are you working with a different police?
Mama, you know me. You are the one from Kogina. Are you not the one from
Listen, my brother.
Are you not the one from Kogina?
This stakeholder is more in my heart than you. Don't talk to me anyhow, please.
I'm not talking to you
anyhow.
I'm not talking to you anyhow. Don't talk to me anyhow. I want to take it from you. Who are you talking to? I'm an honorary member of the National Assembly. You don't talk to me anyhow.
No.
Do you know you're insulting me too?
Sit down, General. Sit down, General. Sit down, General.
Who are you?
Sit down, General.
Please say what? I will allow you to talk. But one thing that I want to sound a note of warning. This man, we cannot keep him here indefinitely. Let us make progress. Give him instructions on what we want him to do. Let him go and do it. Let us monitor it, that those things are done. Because as he's seated there, other people are also monitoring his movement.
God bless you.
Give him instructions.
God bless you, sir. God bless you, sir.
Let me just say
let the senator land.
What I was just saying that we don't have to argue this much. We have seen some lapses, yes. The point that I do correctly, I mean, you're just this evening. There's only happened now that cannot contain before evening, one morning. There's nothing.
We have to stop that now. We must bring that to an end. When we call you, within the next 5-10 minutes, we want to know what has been done about it. And we want to get a feedback on our own that this thing has been done. All those they have disarmed, tell your men they must release them.
They don't disarm anybody.
Put 2 or 3 of your men in charge of that. That before anybody is disarmed, they call that person for clearance. That person will call in, and if he says they should not, nobody disarm. If he says they should go ahead, he doesn't know them, let them go ahead and disarm them. Then that Daramola, I want him picked up in the morning.
No,
Tonight.
Tonight. I don't want land. Commissioner for Finance. Who was going to rally?
Daramola is in which
So we have done a lot of to arrange to. I understand.
Me as a black place.
I know.
What I'm saying is the pressure.
Wait. Excellency, give him those things.
Just take it.
Money number, he has my number.
He has a number.
The people you want them to take control of, to arrest before the money.
Yes, sir.
You can't get promotion without me sitting on top of your military council.
Yes, sir.
If I'm a happy man tomorrow night, the sky is your limit.
Well, quite graphic, quite disturbing, but you also have to understand that the authenticity of this tape is subject to forensic examination and analysis. This is an excerpt of what is presently on YouTube, and you can also go there to find out the detail of what Captain Sagi Koli says that he recorded from that particular meeting. He also has more light to shed on this.
From their mood, you could see that it is something that they might have discussed prior to their coming to Ado Ekiti. Probably they must have planned how to go about it, and they are not happy with what was going on ground according to them, or they say all those things to push him to do better. And I want to believe that they push him so that he will do better than what he has been doing. It could be the reason why they were pushing him to that level. However, I've realized that there is no way he could have exonerated himself from the compromise, because they have planned it before even his arrival to take over command in 32 Artillery Brigade, Akure.
When did he take over command at 32 Artillery Brigade in Akure?
A month to the election. The incumbent commander was Brigadier General A.M. Diko, was the substantive commander of the brigade. He was the one who started the reconnaissance. He wrote an operational report. He went to the army headquarters in Abuja and presented that report. Coming back to the brigade, he called us. I was his intelligence officer. He called the operation officer and told us, look, gentlemen, from the brief I have received, it is apparent that I may not be the person that will handle this election. It came as a surprise to us. 3 weeks to the election, we saw a signal changing him, or rather relieving him from his appointment, and General Momo was brought in. And they said that he should go back to 31 Artillery Brigade, Mina. And that is what happened. And when he came, he asked us to work with him fine. And as a military tradition, if there is change on command, you don't have option than to be loyal. I was so open. I've told him everything that we have done to make sure that the election goes smoothly. But you know, when we entered Ekiti State, I started seeing a different thing.
Captain Sagi Okoli is Army intelligence officer that was deployed to Ekiti in the June 21 governorship election. I'm joined now this morning by Special Assistant to Governor Ayodele Fayose of Ekiti State on communication and new media. Lirio Layinka, good morning. Thank you for joining us on the show today.
Good morning, Ife. How are you?
I'm terrific. We've just seen some disturbing audio on our TV screen now, allegedly uploaded by one Captain Saga, who says that he was present at a particular secret meeting held by your principal and some other political stakeholders, conniving, so to speak, with the Nigerian military just the night before the June 21 Ekiti governorship election. We want to have your reaction to these latest developments.
Well, first and foremost, my reaction would be to laugh. To laugh in the sense that these same people who are going about spreading audio clip, video clip, and all that, first said the people voted for Fayose because he gave them rice. they abuse us in Ekiti that people elected Fayose because of stomach infrastructure. By saying that, they actually said the people voted for Fayose that they were induced with rice and food stuff to vote for Fayose. They admitted that people actually voted for Fayose. That was immediately after the election. These are the same people who congratulated Fayose and said that he actually won the election. Few months after, few weeks after, they came up with the issue of photochromic, that the election was rigged photochromically, that the ballot paper was programmed, that when you print on APC, it will disappear, and it will disappear on APC and appear on PDP. They said that, and they went to tribunal. Now, 8 months after the election, they are coming on with somebody coming on with video clip and all that. So when I saw it, I think on Friday or something, what I did was to laugh. I just laughed that these people have they are here again with their tales by moonlight.
But Larry, are you not baffled that the voice in that particular clip sounds exactly like that of your principal? Do you in any way debate that?
Let me tell you, I'm not baffled a bit. My principal is not baffled a bit. Because we are in technology age. Anything can be done. Voice can be manipulated. Visuals can be manipulated. You all know that. You all know what is called morphing and syncing. You all know technology that is called natural voices. You all know what is called Photoshop. So all these things goes to no issue. Like we have said, if you have evidence that somebody killed your son, will you take that evidence to the house of someone? Will you take that evidence to the media house? I've read statement by the so-called captain, and the only reason I was baffled was the man saying that he took the tape to the house of Tinubu in Lagos. How can you, an army captain, supposed army captain, record that kind of conversation on June 20, and you are just releasing it in February 2015? Does that make sense?
But Larry,
does that make sense that the army officer said he took the recording to the house of Tinubu? If you are a police officer, for instance, and you happen to stumble on a very incriminating evidence, will you take that evidence to the house of a supposed leader of the opposition party in the country? Will you take it to the military authority or the police authority? Would you take it to the authority, to your superior officers? So these are issues that I, for one, have looked at it, because I know these APC people so well.
Just a minute, Larry. Before you go ahead, you recall that the APC actually issued a press release about the alleged intimidation and arrest of some of their stakeholders. As a matter of fact, they also termed that election the militarization of the Ekiti election. I also heard in this part, just a minute, Larry. Just a minute, Larry. I also overheard in that audio where the former Minister of Defense, State Minister of Defense, allegedly also talked about picking up and arresting Daramola, who happens to be the Director General of the Fire Me Campaign Organization.
Well, let me start by giving you my own personal experience.
It's all right.
I left Agriculture. I was at the Ayofal Sheka Situation Office till 3 a.m. on that election day. You understand? I left the place for my house in Agriculture, and around 7 a.m. I left Agriculture for Afarikiti on that election day. I was stopped by the military at the military checkpoint. And let me tell you, at the military checkpoint, there was, in the midst of the military checkpoint, APC did something. They stationed their party member at the military checkpoint. One of their party members was there. He was the one who told the military people that this is Leon Layekao, he's a PDP person. Check his vehicle. And my vehicle was checked. card as a journalist, and I was allowed to move. The APC person was there. I was thoroughly searched. I was there for like 10-20 minutes. And that was what the military did. The only thing the military did, the security people did in the election was to prevent APC from using the stops that they brought to the state. Was to prevent APC from inducing voters with cash. That was the only thing that happened. The military did not force anybody to vote. The police did not force anybody to vote. The people simply they said no to fire me and gave their vote to Ayofayoshe, people of the PDP. All this issue of the military, did the military want anybody to vote for anybody?
But are you saying that it is a coincidence now that APC made these statements and allegations even before the elections, and these audio clips seem to corroborate their claims?
Let me tell you, I know APC people. I've worked with them before. I used to be one of them. You understand? I used to be one of them. The moment they see that a system is not going to favor them, they begin to make noise.
Okay.
Look at the Edo State election. Election was going on. Adam Oshiomhole was making noise. This election there's a lot of irregularity. People were being harassed. I know he was making noise that we are not going to reject, we are not going to reaccept the result of the election. The moment he won the election, he went to Aso Rock to go and thank the president for providing adequate security.
Just a minute, before you go ahead, Larry, let's look at some of the reactions that followed this particular audio clip. For instance, your principal, Governor Ayofayoshe, denied ever being in such a meeting. But unlike his own submissions, the Minister of Police Affairs, Jelili Adesina, is being quoted, according to Sunday Punch, that, I'm quoting him now, he says, I was there, Fayoshe was there, Otumba Omishore was there, Senator Obanikoro was there. I'm not denying that there was a conversation, but it was not what they are saying. Don't you think that this statement is an indictment on your principal submission that it was ever in that meeting?
My principal reacted, Obanikoro reacted on his own. I can only speak for my principal. I cannot speak for any other person.
Oh, you are saying now that the submissions, are you saying categorically, just a minute, Larry, are you saying categorically that the submission of the Minister of Police Affairs is wrong as regards this matter?
I don't know whether the Minister of Police Affairs actually made that statement. Am I supposed to know?
I just read an excerpt to you from the Sunday Punch.
Hello. Some of these things, I am saying that I have not seen the Minister of Police Affairs for him to say he actually made the statement. The one that I can say I can defend is the statement that I made on behalf of my principal. And I am saying it here that my principal never took part in any meeting to discuss anything untoward before, during, and after the election.
Okay, what's the reaction, in your own opinion, of the Ekiti people as regards this audio clip?
The Ekiti people are simply ignoring it. Nobody is taking it serious. If you come to Ekiti and feel the pulse of people, nobody is taking it serious. And I'm saying this on my honor. You can come to Ekiti and talk to people here. All this noise are from people outside Ekiti. And unfortunately, that was also how it was before the election.
It's all right. Just a minute, Larry. Stay on the line. Let me just bring in the APC National Publicity Secretary, who is also with us here in the studio, so that he can also make his submissions. We'll get back to you, Larry. Just stay with us on the line. Alhaji, you saw the clip and you hear what the Governor Ayofayoshe's aide has to say as regards this. What are your own submissions?
Well, I think I will leave the verdict to Nigerians. I will leave the verdict to forensic experts. But everything in that tape coincides with exactly all the issues we raised about the Ekiti election. You remember I was here after the election. And you asked me this question about Ekiti, and I said it was a result of intimidation, mutualization, massive arrest of our people on election day. You remember also that I issued a press statement saying that the SY commander was going to be removed and a pliant commander will be brought in. These are all on records. I'm not a voyeur. I don't see to the future. I was here also, remember, you interviewed me. And we complained about the sudden nocturnal visits of some of the then Minister of Defense to Akure. All these are in record, they're in print. Now, it is so shameful and so terrifying that some members of the military can be so compromised as to subvert democracy. You know, we kept saying it's simply not possible for a governor to lose in all 21 states of all 21 local government of a state. He has members of House of Assembly, he has members of House of Rep, he has senators. Are you saying that not one of them has even done anything for the people? But you see, I'm not going to the past. I want to go into the present. And we are now calling on the authorities to analyze this forensic, to do a forensic analysis on this tape, and everybody who has been implicated must be brought to justice.
But why has this tape not been tendered at the tribunal?
Now, look, you see, there's a proverb that says that when a man is knocked down by a vehicle, it's not the one that's going to write the plate number of that vehicle. The circumstances under which this captain made this, recording were actually not the best. And I do not think even under military regulations, he trusted that he could submit this tape and we'll see the end of the day. I think he must have risked his life for this country because he believed strongly that what was going on was wrong. And he took that risk. And from what I heard, he's not in the country. And I think, if I remember, I heard very clearly from Sarah reporters that they did forensic analysis,
examination,
and until they were convinced, they did not even come up to hear it.
Just a minute, Alaji. We're joined now by legal practitioner Festus Keyamo on Call Digest. Good morning, barrister.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to Call Digest. Let's quickly have your legal opinion as regards this alleged audio recording on the Ekiti elections.
Well, it's a bit straightforward. The law enforcement agencies should subject it to criminal investigation because the exchanges in that recording are criminal in nature because they were conspiring to rig elections. And so that is a criminal allegation. And as such, it should be subjected to criminal investigation. And by that I mean all the dramatic personnel, the names associated with that, they must be brought in. Including, in fact, the person who should first be brought in is the person who recorded the conversation. They should subject it to that type of investigation, and then all those whose names and voices were allegedly heard inside the state, they should be brought in. It is something that is clearly admissible in law, but there are clear and there are procedures you must follow before you can admit it. So nobody should tell anybody that tape is inadmissible. It is admissible, but there are strict provisions of the Evidence Act you must follow before it can be admitted. But it can be admitted for purposes of both criminal investigation and even criminal trial and even civil trial in terms of election petition. It is clearly admissible.
As a professional and experienced legal practitioner, do you in any way doubt the authenticity of this particular recording?
Look, anybody who says is doubting what transpired in that case, that person must not be a Nigerian. The person must be a fool. We know that these things happen in Nigeria. We know that the security agencies are used to rig elections. We know that people sit down somewhere to plan how to rig elections. but we have never caught anybody before. It's just like what happened in the case of Farouk Lawal at National Assembly. All along, we knew the National Assembly members were taking bribes. All along, we knew that they were using their committee work to enrich themselves, but there was no evidence. So if the evidence now presents itself, where will you back the evidence? Can somebody in his true conscience stand up in Nigeria today to say that people don't sit down to plan out to rig elections? Nobody can say so in Nigeria. We all agree that people plan to rig elections, but we have no record, we have no evidence to buttress our position. Now we hear, we see some kind of evidence, and somebody says, I don't want to believe, I want to dismiss it to wave of the hand. That person must be a fool. I'm not saying it is true, that recording, I'm not saying it's authentic. All I'm saying is that there is every reason to believe that there must be some elements of truth behind it, and that is why we investigate it. But nobody can dismiss it to wave of the hand. Nobody can dismiss it.
Barrister, are you surprised that APC is yes to tender this supposed evidence at the court of law?
I'm not part of the legal team, so I wouldn't know why and their strategy, what their strategies are. But I think I spoke with one of them a number of days ago, one of the counsel involved. He called me, I called them in the morning, and we talked at length about this tape. And he said, at the point they tendered their evidence at the court below, the tape was not available.
But then, if this is authentic, I'm just assuming now, does it have that legal integrity to nullify the credibility of the Ekiti election?
It depends on how the courts look at it. Because, you know, there's this issue of substantial irregularity in election petitions, whether the irregularity was substantial enough to affect the, affect the entire results.
It's
or,
all right.
But it depends. It depends on how they play, what they pleaded. It depends on how the tribunal looks at it, or the court of appeal, as the case may be. Because they may bring a motion at the court of appeal to lead fresh evidence, and evidence that were not available at the court below to the team. So that is it's a 50-50 thing. It depends on what they are relying on in their election petition, really.
Festus Keyamo is a legal practitioner joining us on Call That yesterday. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. God bless you.
Alhaji, I am wondering what your strategy is as a party that seem to believe strongly in the authenticity of this particular recording and why it is still looks as if nothing is being done officially.
I think like Mr. Keyamo said, we were not in possession of this tape. And even the essay to Governor Fayose said that why is the tape being released several months after? And don't forget that under our rules, you front load your evidence. Clearly, we were not in possession of this tape. But you see, this tape goes far beyond the legal implication. It is the moral and political and social implications that should worry us. Oh, it might not be possible using this tape, for instance, to retrieve the lost mandate. But it's going to taint this mandate forever. It's going to taint the military forever. It is going to taint the credibility of our elections. And you see what is so, what makes me so sad in this whole thing was that the presidency was named and mentioned. For a fact, I think the Minister of Defense was quoted in this tape as saying that, look, I'm representing Mr. President. I have a mission from Mr. President. And everybody there is using the President as the source of their authority, which means Mr. President is fooling all of us. He must come out and say he does not do anything. But clearly, all these people were acted on his behest, on his behalf. And at the end of the day, who was the beneficiary? The PDP. So don't let's focus too much on the legal implication. No. It's the moral, political, and social. It means today that we can no longer trust our military, or at least we can no longer trust some of our, military chiefs, that they can stoop so low.
Just a minute, sir. Let me get back to...
Just before then, sir. Before then. You see, I want to remind you that I actually issued a statement in the aftermath of the Ekiti election in which I said Chris Uba, who, I hope I'm not missing the name, from Anambra, that he addressed a contingent of policemen and army.
Please, Alhaji, let me hold you for a minute because Larry Olayinka is on the line and we just do not want to keep him waiting. Hello, Larry.
Hello.
Hello, are you there?
Yeah.
We just spoke with a legal practitioner, Festus Keyamo, who talked about the legal importance of this particular document. Do you know if your principal is taking any legal action for or against this new development? I'm asking if your principal is taking any legal action. Can you hear me, Larry?
Yeah, I'm hearing you now.
I'm asking if your principal has intention to take any legal action for or against this new development.
Well, he has not said that. We have not discussed that. We have not discussed that because our position is these are mere distractions. These are mere distractions being orchestrated by the APC, and we are not going to just get ourselves bothered with them because tomorrow they are going to come up with another one. They came up with stomach infrastructure that we voted for stomach infrastructure. They came up with photochromic. Now they have come out with audio clip. The next thing, maybe they are going to come out with divine rigging or evangelical rigging or prophetic rigging or whatever. So we're not going to be distracted. We are not bothering ourselves with some of these stuff.
Are you not considering the moral implication of this, just like Alhaji LAI Mohammed said earlier, and probably the
question we should even ask is, Alhaji LAI Mohammed himself, does he have moral? Does APC as a party have moral? Alhaji LAI Mohammed, I remember in 2007 when they were talking about the 2009 election, he referred to Idosi as sleepy town of Idosi. Idosi is a local government of over 40 towns and villages. He referred to Idosi as a sleepy town. Some of these things, they don't even know what they talk about. They stay in Lagos and Abuja, they steal rubbish, they steal whatever that comes to their mouth or come. So some of these things, if you want to move forward as a state, if you want to do what you want to do as a governor, you don't listen to the APC. You don't listen to them. Let me tell you one thing.
If we don't listen to the APC, who do we listen to? The PDP?
In 2009, after the tribunal judgment was given there between Shekuni and Fayemi, Sarah Reporter came up with a story that 3 billion naira was used to bribe the tribunal judges. And he said that 3 billion naira was taken to Greto Gate, where it was changed to dollars. 3 billion naira cash was taken to Greto Gate, and the cash was changed to dollar in Greto Gate.
Are you there?
Kind of stories, we are used to see this kind of fabrication. The other time they said, so whatever they come up with, we'll just react to maybe out of publication, we react to it, and we move on. Because
it's all right.
they are going to come up with another one.
Thank you very much for joining us today on the show. Larry Olayinka is Special Assistant to Governor Ayodele Fayose on Communication and New Media. I'm sure you want to react to that.
Yes, I will actually want Mr. Olayinka to talk to issues and stop making innuendos. We have a tape here. What is at issue is the authenticity of this tape. And clearly, Mr. Olayinka has been caught wrong-footed. His boss has been caught wrong-footed. Because while on the one hand, his boss said he was never in Spotless Hotel on that day. And Olayinka himself said he was with his boss throughout that day. The Minister for Police Affairs, another dramatist personnel in all this, admitted that yes, they were all there. They all had a meeting, but that was not what was discussed. So you can see that even without going to any forensic laboratory, that there's already contradiction between the evidences of the principal actors in this. But like I said, it is not about APC. It's not about PDP. It's about the integrity of our institutions. What makes me so sad is that the military can be so compromised. And I think the military owes a duty to itself and to Nigerians to investigate this story. But unfortunately, the same military today is the one that has given Jonathan a new breath of life.
Just a minute.
We'll go into that later.
Let's quickly open the phone lines and find out what our viewership has to say as regards this new development. Hello, good morning. Welcome to Call Digest.
Good morning. This is Tochukwu speaking from Anambra.
Tochukwu, how is Anambra this morning?
Very fine, my brother.
Please go ahead with your contribution.
Okay. Please, I want to first of all advise LAI MOHAMMED to please, he is doing a dangerous trend by the statements I'm hearing him make now that our military chiefs, our security chiefs has been compromised. See, he can go on and say all these things for political reasons, but the implication is so there. For once in Nigeria, we should be able to respect the sanctity of some of these our institutions. Now, I as a person, I wouldn't say that what I had in the recording is not possible in Nigeria. And these things are across the board. Let nobody come up with this thing letter that I'm different. These things, I can tell you, I'm at Anambra State during the last governorship election, their candidate, I can tell you what went in. You see, in Nigeria, what we see is those people who are smarter than others, who can outreach others, they are all leaders. We know them. So, but my cause now is, I don't like a situation whereby, because it is not a coincidence that the military chiefs, that the OPC is not in tandem with the position of the military chiefs as
Tochukwu,
at this election.
just a minute, Tochukwu.
So I know.
Hello, are you there, Tochukwu?
Yes.
If, for instance, this audio material is authentic, are you saying it doesn't indict the Nigerian military in any way?
Now, that is what I am saying. If, for instance, for now, nobody can independently state that this is authentic. So it is not for him on this basis.
It's all right.
With his position he is taking now. So
right.
Until and after, it has been confirmed and we are sure if he is making these statements about the military, then we can now look at it from a critical standpoint. But
I believe you made your point there, Tochukwu. Let's quickly have Alaji react to that.
Mr. Chukwu, you are either not listening or you already made up your mind. I said two things. I said one, that one of the actors, the Minister of Police Affairs, confirmed that all the people in that video were actually at a meeting at that place, but that's not what was discussed. And that contradicts the position of Mr. Olayinka. Two, I said it is in the interest of the military for its own integrity to investigate this. I said it is the interest of the military and the nation and for the integrity of the military that this matter must be investigated by the military itself and all the culprits brought to go.
So you're not categorically indicted the Nigerian military. Let's take another call. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Call Digest. Anyone there? You're welcome to Call Digest. Can you turn down the volume of your TV set? What? Yeah, what's your name? Where are you calling from? I'm afraid we lost that. We're just going to go to the next call. Hello, good morning. Welcome to Call Digest. Are you there?
Hello, it's Tochukwu that is calling from Anambra. Hello?
Tochukwu, you're calling back? I'm afraid we'll have to give the other callers opportunity to call in on the show this morning. Were you calling in? Endeavor to turn down the volume of your TV set so that we can have a crystal clear communication. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I'm Paula Bido, calling from Ibadan.
Caller from Ibadan.
Yeah.
I need you to turn down the volume of your TV set. Can you do that?
I'm lower my TV set.
Beautiful. Go ahead with your contribution, please.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, you know, our president, the commander-in-chief of armed force, has the authority over every other forces in Nigeria. So I believe he's the one managing.
Amafo, we lost that.
The way they are
Okay.
things now. Hello?
Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, with the way we are seeing things, the way they are doing, I don't think maybe as a matter of fact, the way INEC is pulling everything, they are under pressure already, and I don't see any future in the so-called election they said they want to do right away.
It's all right. Thank you for your contribution, caller.
I'm sick. Thank you.
Good to hear from you. Let's just quickly have your final take on this issue so we can move on to other developing stories.
Well, I must say that this story must not be swept under the carpet. The National Assembly must, take up this matter. The military authorities must take up this matter. Civil society must take up this matter because the allegations are simply too grave. We hope, for the sake of this country, we hope for the sake of our institutions that it is not authentic. But the only way you can find out whether it's authentic or not is to investigate it. Otherwise, it means then that no election in this country in which the military participates in one way or the other can be credible again. And you see, against what happened only 4 days ago, where the military came to the aid of the president to give him more time to campaign, more time to strategize, more time to pour money into the campaign, then we begin to worry, what is the role of the military? Is it the military really truncating our democracy?
The position of the military was that there was an international operation going on, of course, between Nigeria, Chad, and Nigeria Republic in the ongoing fight against insurgency. They didn't actually say that it was in support of Mr. President's bid for re-election.
He must be the only Nigerian that I know of that is speaking this way. Listen, Nifemi, on the 2nd of February this year, at the National Peace Meeting, all the service chiefs said they were ready for the February 14 elections. The Chief of Army Staff, the Chief of Air Staff even went as far as saying that all materials have been, the airlift has been done. What then happened between the 2nd of February and the 6th of February, when the same military now went to the National Council of State meeting to say that they could no longer guarantee security in the election? Make no mistake about it. The certain part, I think the military chiefs are in a very unholy alliance with the president and the PDP. And what they have done really is that they have taken the issue of election management out of the hands of INEC today, and they bring it back to the military. They are the one that will now determine when we are going to have elections and how we are going to have elections. As we are speaking today, we are told that the military is starting a 3-day strategic meeting in Kaduna somewhere. But our feedback is different. And actually, it's all about how the military will be used to help PDP in the coming election. A lot will be had in days to come. But I just hope that our once very proud military institution will not be compromised by a few people. But otherwise, how can the same military that said they will be ready for elections on February 2nd suddenly now say that the same day of February 14, when elections are supposed to hold, will be the day that they are going to start this international operation?
It's all right.
How long was it planned? For how long was it planned? These are questions Nigerians should be asking.
Let's get back to Larry Olayinka, who I believe is back on the line. Hello, Larry.
I just want to, hello?
Go ahead with your contribution, please.
I just want to ask LAI Mohammed one simple question on election postponement. In 2011, the guy told us that he was ready for election. In 2011. And we were already on the line waiting to vote on the National Assembly election. When announcement was made by the guy said that election had been postponed, nothing happened. In Lagos State, under APC, local government election was postponed indefinitely. And LAI Mohammed tell us there that his party that could not conduct common local government election should not be talking about national election. Why did Lagos State government under APC postpone local government election indefinitely? These people are just hypocritical. They should tell us Lagos State government under APC could not conduct simple local government election. It was postponed since September last year indefinitely. No date has been given. So they should stop coming here to tell Nigerians what they are not.
It's all right. Do you see any relationship between the two?
Mr. Olayinka, you can make your points without being insultive. That's part of communication, training. You see, it's true in 2011. Jega said he was ready for elections. And when we started our election on that same day, he stopped the election. That is the point. Jega is the only, INEC is the only constitutionally recognized election management body that can say we are ready for elections or we're not ready for elections. All this controversy would have been needless if it was Jega himself that came out to say, Nigerians, we are not ready for elections. Rather, who started this? The first kite was flown in London by the National Security Advisor. And it's instructive to know that when he was speaking in London, he never cited security issues. He was heavy on the non-collection of permanent voters' cards. Two, all the arguments, all the debates until the 6th of February was on the issue of PVC. All the sponsored protests were on the issues of PVC. Nobody mentioned the issue of security. So that is the difference. If it was Jega himself that said, I cannot hold the election, it will be okay. And even on Saturday, Jega said he is substantially ready for election, but the military have said they won't be available for security. Two, you don't compare oranges with apples. National elections, local elections are done under different laws and different, platforms.
I understand we have to take a break for commercials now, and we'll be back with more Con Digest. Stick around and go away.
Which person can you carry?
And we now for MTN
Catch Quest.
You see the look? Plenty people don't they win 10 million naira every week and 1 million naira every day. To win, just dial *170# for free and correct a who go with you. Whether that TV or generator or phone, you fit win all for free every day.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Thanks for joining us again. It's Core Digest Tuesday, exclusive to Core TV News, as we talk more on highlights on the elections postponement. Of course, I'm sure you're aware that February 14 is free for all lovers, and now it's March 28 and April 11 for the 2015 general elections. What exactly would be the concern of the APC at this time? Because I also spoke with Garba Shehu yesterday, who talked about opinion polls, that opinion polls showed that your candidate was leading and that inspired the postponement. That was what he said yesterday. But what do you think will be different? If you think your candidate can win election in February, what will change if the elections are held in March?
A lot could change. One, is that you would have dampened the enthusiasm of many Nigerians. Two is that you could have given more time for, the president in particular and the PDP to perfect its rigging machinery. But I think on a more serious note is that when you look at the position and the condition of most candidates, they have been spending money, time and energy, and just when they thought they was on home run, you now give, say, another 6 weeks of more spending, more rallies, more campaign. For a party like ours, that has a lot of, financial constraints, it's quite a burden. But for a party like the PDP that has limitless resources, it's not a burden.
Have you lost hope in the chances of your candidate in this election?
Not in the least. All that has happened is that the presidency and the PDP, they've postponed the funeral. They can't wake up the dead person. PDP is dead. This election is lost by the PDP. We're going to win. They only postponed the funeral. No. Make no mistake about that. And you see, we are giving them the benefit of the doubt. And I will tell you this clearly, that if PDP had 40%, followership before the postponement, they've lost a big percentage, portion of that today. Not at all.
Are you also considering the bright side of this? Because Femi Fani-Kayode recently talked about 34% of registered voters who have not gotten their PVCs as at February 6. And of course, Kayode also confirmed that on the show yesterday. Are you not considering the fact that now that INEC has extended the collection of PVCs by 4 weeks, we're going to have more credible elections by the virtue of more people who are going to get their permanent voter cards?
I would want to come back on this show after the election, and let's compare the number of people after 6 weeks that have gotten their PVCs compared to the number of people that have them today. I want to see and ask whether is that justified. But you see, we are always for no Nigerian being disenfranchised. But we also know that you cannot have 100% enfranchisement. We also know that you cannot force anybody to go and collect his PVC if he doesn't want to do so. Neither can you force anybody to come and vote if he doesn't want to do so. And we're going by the election, by the records in 1999, 2003, 2007, 2011. And it's on record that it's only in 2003 that we had 68% of people that were registered that came to cast their votes. In others, it was barely about 50%. And at the threshold at which INEC was before the postponement, would have reached more than 60%. But this is without prejudice to the merit or to the fact that, yes, if another 4 weeks extension is given, there should be more people that will collect their PVCs and there will be more people that will vote. But unfortunately, the reason given by government for postponement had nothing to do with the PVC. It was anchored purely on security concerns.
And you're not concerned about that? Are you not concerned about the fact that elections might not be eventually adjudged free and fair if it was not conducted in a conducive environment?
What is conducive? We've had elections before, and precisely in 1999, elections were conducted everywhere in Nigeria except Bayelsa State because of the militancy. Elections were conducted a month after the general elections in Bayelsa. The entire endangered areas in this northeast have 14 local governments out of 774 local governments. Do you sincerely believe that postponing elections in 774 local governments because of 14, does it make sense? Of course it does not. Let me tell you what has happened is that the military chiefs have bought more time to allow President Jonathan, is their commander-in-chief, to perfect their rigging machinery, to throw more money into the public arena, to continue more smear campaign, to continue more ethnic baiting and scaremongering, and to see whether within this period of time they can get General Buhari disqualified.
Just a minute. Let us get back to the phone lines to find out the pulse of Nigerians on these issues. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Call Digest.
Yes, good morning, Nifemi.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Israel, calling from Lekki.
Please go ahead with your contribution, Israel.
Yeah, I want to really thank LAI Mohammed for what he's doing for my party. But I'm so disgusted with what is happening to our revered institutions. As of today, as a Nigerian, I'm aware that the military has been highly compromised. I don't want to talk about the video because we know things like that happen every time in this country. And it's a shame. Yes, it's not been proven, but let it be tested in a court of law. Let it be tested in a court of law. I have a brother who is in the Nigerian army. He's fighting right now in Maiduguri. I will name withhold. He's not telling me this one as I called him. When the president visited Maiduguri, three fighting aircraft were hovering in the air. And they were going against the Boko Haram fighters with just one aircraft. And after delivering a lot of bombing, he would still come back to reload, and that takes an hour or two. And he told me that I need to see the military hardware the Chadian soldiers came with, that you see confidence rising in them. He told me that do I believe that he buys his own uniform, boots, and he's starting for a knee guard right now. But they buy those things. But one of their men had a serious injury. The medical team could not provide the drugs that was prescribed. They had to go and buy. This is an account for my own nephew. My own nephew. He's at the war front fighting for this nation. I mean, there are a lot more of such stories.
Israel. Just a minute, Israel. That's just one story from one Nigerian soldier. Would it be fair to generalize that that's the situation with the Nigerian army?
It's not about generalizing. It's about the number of soldiers you have kept on death row. That's another testimony. That's to process what he has said. You have kept a lot of soldiers on death row, waiting for a day you get a lot and fire them. You understand? That is evidence on his own.
It's all right, Israel. I believe you made your points there. Thank you very much for your contribution. Let's take another call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Call Digest.
Yes.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Abia State. I'm Honorable Martin Omero.
Honorable Martins Omero.
Yeah.
Can you turn down the volume of your TV set so we can hear you more clearly?
You say?
Can you turn down the volume of your TV set so we can hear you clearly?
Okay. I want to thank LAI Mohammed.
I'm afraid we lost that. Were you calling in? Turn down the volume of your TV set so we can have a crystal clear communication. Well, insinuations arrive, Alaji. This has not been confirmed yet, but I think it's on the social media that there's a possibility that INEC chairman is going on a terminal leave. And of course, that's also coming in the light of many civil society organizations calling for his resignation. Do you think that is the way to go? Does the INEC really has a choice in this situation?
Oh, on the contrary, I think the civil society organization institution room is calling for resignation of the service chiefs.
Okay.
Now, I know that a few sponsored, pro-government, NGOs that are asking for resignation of Professor Taru Jega. But what is clear to us is that the government would not want Professor Taru Jega to conduct these elections because they do not want to use the card reader.
Are you saying you have faith in the Professor Atayiru Jega at this time?
It's not about having faith in Professor Atayiru Jega. It's about having faith and believing in the process that he promised us, which is the card reader.
So if peradventure is changed, are you going to raise an alarm on that issue?
I think if peradventure is changed, it will now confirm our worst fears that this government is not ready for a free and fair election, and that all this rigmarole about security, they are just small screen. The real truth is that the government is afraid that it will lose in a free and fair election. And that brings me to another serious issue. All over Nigeria today, there are stories confirmed of people buying people's permanent voters cards. I'm beginning to wonder if we are going to use the card reader. And when I went for the briefing alongside other political party leaders with INEC, we were told two things. That with the card reader, it's not possible for you to use a cloned PVC. And that it's not possible for you to use a PVC which does not belong to you or was not issued in your polling booth. So the guarantee we have been given is that if the card reader is used, two things are clear. Unless that card was issued at that polling booth where you are voting, if you present it there, it will say not authorized.
But if INEC have already procured the card readers, why are you scared that they could turn back on that any moment? Is that a possibility at all?
That, you see, does anybody ever think they would bring in the military to say they would not provide security for election? I mean, the date for this election was set more than a year ago. And a few days to the election, it was postponed. So do you think anything is impossible? What happens, for instance, that they have now a new INEC chief, and he says, well, from my own assessment of what is on ground, I can't conduct elections with card readers. What would be your answer to that?
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Call Digest.
Yeah, good morning.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Abubakar, calling from Abuja.
How are you today, Abubakar?
Fine.
Please go ahead with your contribution. Go ahead with your contribution, Abubakar.
Okay. I really want to, I'm very, very embarrassed with the way the military is going on in this country. Hello?
Go ahead, Abubakar, go ahead. You have 1 minute.
In fact, outside Nigerians are highly disappointed with the government. Outside Nigeria are highly disappointed with the government because many people travel overwhelmed with this election issue. Everybody wants to go and vote for his candidate, but unfortunately, the way the things are going in this country, many people are very, very disappointed and embarrassed, most especially as it involves the military. If elections can be conducted in other parts of the country, Nigeria has 774 local governments. Those three states that are prone to insurgent attack, elections can be shifted to another week. Military can mobilize their forces there so that this election should be efficient in those areas, even a week or 2 days, 3 days later.
That's all right. Abubakar, thank you very much for your contribution from Abuja. Let's also begin to consider the school of thought. Many are of the opinion that rigging seemed to be a norm in is characteristic, so to speak, to the Nigerian election, that probably it is just the best rigger that is declared winner, and then the opposition cannot claim to be an angel in this electoral fraud. How do you react to that?
I think that is the whole point of this election, which is we want change. We want change from corruption. We want change from a leadership that is morally bankrupt. We want change from a leadership that has no answer, no solutions to insecurity, to unemployment. And the highest form of corruption is electoral corruption. It is the most serious, the most grievous form of corruption. So when we say we are going to bring change, we are going to have zero tolerance for corruption. We are going to build a public sector reform that will encourage hard work, honesty, will discourage and punish dishonesty. It will permit and goes to every public servant, which means that our elections today will become credible. But with this kind of government, rigging will become the order of the day. So yes, I agree with you. The whole idea of this election is for us to change from these bad habits.
How do we intend to solve this challenge of religion in this electoral process? I saw a tweet accredited to APC yesterday or the day before that your presidential candidate will be at Al Jazeera. The reaction on Twitter was, why Al Jazeera? Why not BBC? Why not CNN? It looks as if the religious coloration came in again, and many are saying this probably will count even on March 28th.
No, I think one thing we must credit this government for, that they have succeeded more than any government in the history of our country in dividing Nigerians along ethnic and religious lines. And you can see that what the government does is scaremongering, ethnic baiting, and promoting religious bigotry. Look, Al Jazeera is not looked at by any sensible person as an Islamic, as a channel. Just like, why did they, okay, if because of the location, then why was CNN that is in London? Or Fox, that's in the US. Now you see, this is exactly one thing this government has succeeded in. You know, only last week, I think on Thursday, Chief Edwin Clark, made this inciting statement saying that Southerners are leaving the northern part of Nigeria, people who are leaving Lagos. This is ethnic baiting. This is kind of thing that happened in Rwanda. And when the president also goes to the people and starts talking about religion and says that, look, Boko Haram actually wanted to bomb the whole country. Or a Metu comes on as a press conference and says that the people who are denied, their PVCs were actually from one part of the country or the other. This is irresponsible. But you can see, open the papers today. What is PDP's campaign? Ethnicity and religion. I was coming in the car, I saw one where they said one Peter Onu, an Igbo man, was not supported for the candidacy of the United Nations Secretary General, and therefore, Bola was head of state then. Obasanjo also contested for the position of UN Secretary General. What was the result? But you see, this is what this government has succeeded in doing, dividing us along ethnic and religious lines. But I can assure you, the average Nigerian knows that this is not about religion.
It's all right. We're running up the segment now. We're just going to take a couple of calls. Let's make it clear and precise. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Welcome to Call Digest.
Yeah, you're talking to Dangulugulu from Kaduna.
Alaji, how are you today?
I'm fine.
Please go ahead with the contribution.
Thank you. Good morning.
Morning.
Morning, sir. I'm talking to the
Alaji.
National Publicity Secretary, President Mohammed.
Okay.
Good morning.
Sir, the Nigerian youth are proud of President Mohammed.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, because they have contributed to the continued peace and political stability of Nigeria. And we, the youth of Nigeria, are acknowledging what you are doing. And believe you me, we are behind you. Whatever you can do to make sure that this election falls, and whatever you can do as a party to make sure that Jonathan does not government to military post-transition government, please do it. You should make Nigerians conscious enough to know that this man is trying to plunge this country into crisis. We know the Electoral Act and the Constitution of But now the Jega has reached limit. So now it's left for us and left for you as a leaders, because I know you believe in Nigeria. And through the insertion of this administration, you have contributed. They have called you honest. Please keep it up. Nigerian youth are proud of you, and we are telling you, believe in me. We are emulating you, and we will continue to support you. Whatever you call us to do, regarding the continued peace and political stability of this country, the Nigerian youth will give you the support. Thank you very much. We pray God to spare your life and to continue to help you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Unlike previous insinuation that if the elections were postponed, there will be violence, outbreak of violence across the country. It looks as if Nigerian electorate proved that particular insinuation wrong.
No, yes, because we disappointed the PDP. We refused to fall into their trap. You
are not in any way saying that the PDP wanted violence in Nigeria.
Of course. You see, what they thought was that as soon as this election was postponed, there would be violence. We knew. And the first thing we did was the national chairman of our party issued a statement as late as Saturday night saying Nigerians should remain calm. House of Water should remain calm despite the provocation. And I wait the party's decision. The very next day, our candidate, Mohammed Wali, addressed a World Press Conference, and it was be calm and resolute. And they are disappointed, because what they wanted was a situation where there will be fighting here, there will be conflagration, there will be violence, and they will say, oh, because of this election, we will not hold. Now, their next step is just to rig the election, and we are going to stop them by the grace of God. Nigerians will stop them by the grace of God.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Please turn down the volume of your TV.
Yeah, this is Mohammed from Abuja.
Mohammed from Abuja, you have 1 minute. You're our last caller on this segment. Go ahead with your contribution.
Okay. Oh, okay, then. I thank God so far I'm the last caller. I just want to say good morning to Alaji Mohammed.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, but all what he said, may God bless him.
Amen.
Yes, I tried to call and say to him good morning, and God bless our APC party.
Thank you very much.
Restore peace in the Northeast.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Halaji, thank you for joining us today on Call. I just have been speaking with the National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, Alhaji LAI Mohammed. We'll hope that subsequently you also find time to join us on the program.
It's always a pleasure.
We'll take another short break, and when we come back, we'll find out what the top stories are on some of the Nigerian newspapers, and I'll be joined by my next guest on the show. Stick around. Don't go away.
The gubernatorial election is here again. The Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NIPR, Lagos State Chapter presents Lagos Decides 2015. This is a platform designed to give equal opportunity to all the candidates vying for the post of governor in Lagos State. All candidates are hereby invited to present their respective manifestos to its select audience comprising of PR practitioners, media, and other prominent professionals. Lagos Decides 2015 comes up on Wednesday, 11 February 2015. Time, 11 a.m. Venue, LCCI Event Center, CBD, Alausa Ikeja. Admission is strictly by invitation. For sponsorship details and advert placement, call Joe on 0802 3924 913 or Jola on 0802 366 3429. Proudly supported by MITV, Star FM, 101.5, Galaxy Television, Core TV, Cool TV, Wazobia TV, Nigeria Info, and Frontiers Consulting. The debate will be broadcast and streamed live. NIPR, deepening democratic values.
It's another beautiful and exciting moment. Welcome to Political Arena,
the most detailed and incisive political show.
You will see all sorts of politicians, even those who cannot manage their homes. We tell you to let them manage your lives. Look well, shine your eyes.
So stomach infrastructure is a way of life. Even if I cannot do anything, and I continue to help your stomach so that your life will keep on going. Stomach infrastructure is a way of life for me.
I should ask you, what is going right in this country? Is it education?
It is security, infrastructure, is it healthcare? What is going right? Absolutely nothing.
We mean to win Lagos. PDP is going to win Lagos in 2015.
INEC has colluded with the presidency, the opposing party, to rig this election from the data to the end.
The 2015 general elections must be the best.
The good, bad, ugly, and beautiful sides of the Nigerian political system. Join me every Sunday at 9:15 p.m. on Core TV News.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digi360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
This morning, Nigerians encourage corruption besides during first stop the punch newspaper. And Nigerian Gardeners Forum calls for Okonjo Iweala's resignation. Page 2 of the Punch newspaper.
The Dailies, every day on Core TV News.
Thanks for staying the course on Core Digest Tuesday. I am Nifemi Oguntoye, and I'm joined now by the MD, Editor-in-Chief and MD of Financial Standard, as well as a Public Affairs Analyst, BOLA ONANUGA. Thank you very much, sir, for finding time to join us today.
You're welcome.
Let's quickly find out what the top stories are together on some of the Nigerian dailies we have here. We'll start with the Punch this morning. And the big one here, another poll delay will amount to a coup, according to Buhari. You'll get details of that story on page 9. It talks about a civilian and a military coup. Would you say that is not too big or bigger than what they call, is this not, wouldn't this amount to heating up the polity as it goes?
Well, it's not peculiar to Buhari alone. Every player within the polity in the last 1 year has spoken rigorously and recklessly. So we will not condemn Buhari for saying that, because he's just trying to limit how far the government can go to annul people's interests. I think it's a check on the government itself. You see, not that you cannot, for good reason, you can delay the poll. Because if there is war in this country today, they would delay the poll.
You think this reason is good enough?
I think the reason they gave so far is okay. I cannot see, without the military offering, or the security agency offering their support to INEC, I don't see how any poll can run successfully in this country.
But how come the expectation of the people in this particular situation doesn't match up with the preparedness of the Nigerian Army? For instance, INEC says that it has distributed over 70 to 80% of PPCs in northeastern Nigeria.
Yeah.
The people there seem to be ready to vote.
Even in Southwest, they are ready to vote. But the same people who are condemning the delay in this poll are the same people who are accusing INEC of not meeting up with the requirement of PVC, that in their areas of strength, that the PVC had not been distributed. For instance, some of us in Lagos, we belong to what we call Zero Center, where it has crashed. INEC had the blame. One of the blames of INEC was that this thing was done in 2011, the registration of voters. Now, 4 years after, you are just bringing the voters card at the injury time of an election. That is an INEC deficiency. It's not a president, it's not a federal government deficiency, because they have been provided all the money. Every year, the budget gave a clear-cut appropriation to them. The National Assembly appropriate to them. So they should have done it. So, and then why do they have to go and print in China? It is part of the corruption we're talking about in this society. One, if you want to get ATM card from the bank, it takes less than a week. So why will this one take? It's just like ATM. There is nothing to it. It's like ATM. So they have no reason to even go to China in the first place if whatever they want to do makes sense. But they might have gone there for security reason, which is because of corruption here. People assume that they could, if we do it within locally, that we could run into some.
But amazingly, INEC insists that it was ready for the February 14 election. As a matter of fact, it says that it has given, as at February 6, 67% of PVCs.
What about the remaining 33%? They should be disenfranchised?
Probably they were hopeful that they could still do more before the deadline.
The issue was INEC as an organization was weak prior to this time. You couldn't have done registration in 2011 and come and be distributing in 2014. You ought to have brought it back since 2012 or 2013 for people to have it. Then some of us, I live in Ikeja. I registered there. I don't have PVC as I'm talking to you now. What they did was that they said it crashed. If it crashed since 2011, why will you come in 2014 to come and tell us that we should come and do another registration?
It's been extended by another folks.
No, they are not going to capture anybody anymore. They are not capturing anybody. By the time they were doing the capture in November, I was out of the country. I came back, they told me that I have to wait for another election.
So you have been automatically
disenfranchised. And there are several people like that in different parts of the country. It is not because I am a member of APC or PDP or Labour or anything. It is just that it crashed and they are supposed to have come back to that area and recapture people almost a year before. After all, we go to driver's license office and we get captured. We go to NASRA, we get captured. We go to ID card, National ID card registration office. We get captured within 5 minutes. So what is delaying them, knowing that it has crashed, that you cannot come back to people and tell them that, look, it has crashed? Because politicians will normally create issues out of nothing because they are just extending the ball. It's just like a football match. You play ball up, somebody play down. That's what they are doing. The fact that they delay the poll does not even generate this controversy. After all, in a football match, the referee has the right to create extra time. It did not tie the leg of any of the teams. The benches are there. The coaches are there to talk to their boys, to wake them up, to tell them what to do. So the shout about this thing is not necessary.
But does this extension in any way gives certain advantages to one party above the other as we come down to March 28?
Well, the point is, the reason, you see, when I was in the university, there was a serious argument because those were the period of coups and counter coups. We used to say that military explanation is not a necessary reason for intervention. People will just create reasons that may not necessarily be what they intended to do. Why the argument created on this occasion was that the military were not ready because of the international engagement. It looks plausible, it looks reasonable, but that may not be the actual reason. The actual reason may be that INEC was not ready because they still want the PVC to be properly distributed. And the same Jega went to the Council of State meeting and told them that he was ready. But you have not distributed 33%. How can you be ready? Though a student does not require 100% to pass an exam.
67 is still a B.
67 is a far away number when it comes to election.
But what I'm saying right now is that, for instance, the APC National Publicity Secretary is saying that this extension would probably favor the PDP because they have more financial resources to spend for the next 6 weeks.
Well, maybe
is that valid?
Well, he has his argument. Maybe they are already broke at their end. So they are realizing that the more the relay race goes, the more staff you become. It's possible. The PDP, they have more financial muscles. That I know. One, the fact that they are in government. Two, because they have more state to control. And three, because they have more stakeholders that can easily contribute to their pot. But that notwithstanding, as of today, I can tell you as a media man that Buhari is leading. In all facets of measurement, Buhari is leading. I can say without fear or favor.
Can anything happen to that in the next 6 weeks?
It's not possible. Well, It is possible and it is not possible. It's a match.
You almost said it's not possible.
It's a match for all of them. It is your ability. It's not about money now. It's about strategy.
You also understand that the eligibility of both candidates are being contested in the court of law. Do you see the judiciary turning the drama of this election?
The judiciary cannot do anything. The point is, lawyers in this country, they have all sorts of ways of making money. Even when you have a very bad case, they will still want you to go to court so that they can make their income.
Are you preempting the decision of the court?
The court will not reverse anything with regard to the two candidates. It is not possible because, one, they have been registered. Two, ballot papers have been printed. 14 presidential candidates' ballot papers have been printed. So the court cannot change anything. I'm not saying that without prejudice to members of the court or jurists. The point is, so many things will be counted. One, judiciary are under pressure every time, anywhere in the world, not to make decisions, not to deliver judgment that cannot be effected. Because the judge will not go there to effect the decision they take or the judgment they pronounce. It is still the military or the police that will be used. Who controls the police? Who controls the military? This is something I'm telling you because several years ago, there was a case between Lagos state government and the federal government with regard to all the housing, all the houses in VI and also, which the Lagos state government claimed that they are the owner, that they passed it to the colonial government. And that since the colonial government had left, it should have been reverted to Lagos state government. And they went to court. And I was asking one of the sons there that, for instance, if the court delivers judgment in favor of Lagos state government, say, who will now implement it? Who will implement it? Said the police will implement it. Who owns the police? The federal government. So in this case, the court will only take a decision that can be implemented, not decision that cannot work. You can't say that. Let me tell you, the eligibility of Jonathan is not in doubt, and that of Buhari is not in doubt. You understand?
Considering the reason that INEC is given to postpone this election, do you foresee another rescheduling? Because many are saying that, come on, the fight against insurgency has been around for a while.
For about 5 years.
Collaboration with other West African countries has also been around for some time. How come do we expect that within 6 weeks, Nigeria, Chad, and Niger would be successful with this operation?
I think what we should focus on is that May 29 is sacrosanct, and that it cannot be changed.
And constitutionally, elections have to hold 30 days before that time.
So I don't see the rescheduling of the election does not matter to me. What matters to me is that May 29 there must be handover.
But are you also considering that there is a section of that same Electoral Act that talks about security being a major fundamental element of a successful conduct of elections?
Yes. The point is, the military and the police will now strategize within the next few weeks and find a way of moving people maybe from the insurgency zone to other zones where they think it's not everywhere in this country that there will be crisis during election. For instance, I can tell you point blank that in Lagos there will not be any crisis. It's going to be a smooth state for whichever party that will win. In Ogun State, there will not be any issue. In Southwest, I can't see why police presence will be so important. Though they will be there, but they won't be that important. Where they need police presence is where the insurgency are, because I will not allow my own daughter or son to go and supervise election in Adamawa, Yobe, or Maiduguri for any reason. I am prepared to go to court against INEC for it. No, it's a fact. Because this place is not even safe for animals, talk less of human beings.
It's all right, but there are still people living there. Bear that in mind.
And well, the people living there, they know the environment very well. They are used to it. They are accustomed to it. They grew up there. They are doing business there. So if they know that somebody is coming, they already know the Boko Haram is themselves. So they know when to take off and when to wait.
INEC has extended PVC collection by 4 weeks. Wouldn't you call that a right step in the right direction?
It is. Because whether we agree or not, within the 4 weeks, more people will get PVC. Forget about those of us who have been disenfranchised. We are few. We are not going to be, we are just minor. So it's not something that, even on a normal day of election in this country, since I can't remember now, I've always been part of the observer team, either for Nigerian Union of Journalists or for United Nations. So to even vote is a problem, even when I have the detailed PVC. The reason why we needed the PVC is just for you to belong to the class of voters. Not necessarily that you are going to vote. Even most people that are making noise that they have not gotten their voters card, they may not even come out on the day of election.
Look at this on page 2 of the Punch. Plot to sack Jega thickens. Insinuations are rife that Jega might be embarking on a terminal leave. His engagement is supposed to terminate
next month
on June 30, I believe. What's the implication of this if it's really true?
That story from the newspaper angle and from a journalist angle is just a scavenging story. It's not thickens. We use it in the industry just to push controversy.
The same way the international media broke the news that elections have been postponed in Nigeria in the morning, a meeting that took place later in the night.
No,
if that was true,
it has been taken.
What makes this different?
The decision had been taken 2 days before the announcement.
I see.
But they were only waiting for the upper chamber, that is the powers that be in government, to endorse it. But the decision had been taken by the military 2 days before the pronouncement. And you see, our military is such an institution where once a decision is taken, they prefer to talk to international media more than local media.
Why is that so?
Why is that so? It's because of the fact that the international media will not disclose their source. The local media, by the time they call somebody to one side in Nasoro, we just give the name of the person who... And the theory of this institution is that there is not disclosure of source. That is one of the principal principles of the media practice. But it is not so because of corruption. They will just call somebody to one side and say, how did you get the story? Take 1 million. And the person will turn himself to a parrot. And then all the information are given out. And you are not supposed to disclose your source.
No, maybe that's also turning attention to the welfare of Nigerian journalists. Because if 1 million will mean so much to the average
10,000 will mean so much.
Are you kidding me?
I'm telling you the truth. 10,000 means so much. I remember several years ago, I was the deputy public relation officer, manager of IGI. And we have this media package that we give to them. So if you want something to be done fast, we give information out. And when we are giving this information, it is not supposed to be seen as coming from us. It is supposed to be coming from the industry, the industry sources. But these people will go to NIA, Nigerian Insurance Association, and go and disclose that it's IGI that give them the information. I have practiced severally with the financial institutions, and I can tell you that if they hold the bankers meeting, their monthly meeting today, 10 minutes time, I'll be talking to an MD of a bank who will give the information. I can never disclose the source, but that level of maturity is not in all of us.
It's all right. Maybe they might have to try you with like 10 million to know if you will budge.
No, everybody has a price.
Oh, everybody does?
Oh, yes, everybody has a price. But you could be given the money and you may not disclose anything.
I think I'm priceless, but they should try me first.
Well, when it gets to you,
they start with the 100 million.
Yeah, it works.
Let's find out what the top stories are on the front page of The Guardian this morning. Nigeria won't split, says U.S. envoy. That's on the Guardian newspaper. Adifarasin preaches peace, unity. Prior to this time, I don't know where we got the news from, but it was also rife that the U.S. had, at a point in time,
4 years ago.
I think it was 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
Talked about Nigeria breaking in 2015. But from the situation of things, would you say that's still credible?
Nigeria cannot break for any reason. I'm not an optimist, but I have seen several situations that will lead to war in other countries. What led to war in Somalia, in Congo, in Sudan? We have bypassed all that. In the Biafra war ought to have split Nigeria. It didn't split. The MKO issue The Southwest were making noise. They will go, they will this, they will that.
I was supposed to take that for granted, that Nigerians can handle anything.
There is nothing we cannot handle. When you least expected that this nation will rise to the occasion, that is when they will rise. It is not about me, it's not about you. You will see Nigerians, despite the fact that we are calling about unemployment, go to one party or one disco, you will see them rejoicing there. And you will not know that they are suffering at home. In the rural area, people marry many wives. Yet,
with
they are
limited
suffering.
resources.
With limited resources. They still cope. So, Nigerians are people who can cope under any situation. Though it's not about the president or anybody. It's about our resilient nature to reverse ourselves and to move on at every point in time. When do you think Nigeria was qualified, was good enough for the Nations Cup that they won? When they were going, they went as minor. Nobody welcomed them at the airport. They just went in. But Nigerians began to monitor them when they qualified for the quarterfinal, and they eventually won the cup. Nobody gave Nigeria a chance.
You're saying that Buhari's threat of a civilian coup if the elections dates are rescheduled might not hold water?
No, it's just the fact that one does not expect such from an elder statesman. It should have been a person in the level of LAI Mohammed should have said such a thing, and then the power will be saying that no, we did not say it. That is not communication. It shouldn't have said that. But having said that, is only trying to warn the powers involved that, look, you cannot reschedule it again after now. And there's no way they can reschedule it again, because March 28th and April, they have just less than a month to the election. So it means that you don't want to hand over on May 29th if it is rescheduled. So nobody in Nigeria will accept that. Even the international community will not accept it. But not that the international community are in a position to come and dictate to us, because we do not tell them when they should do theirs. But they can give us some warning, because any sanction on Nigeria will be very deadly.
Let's quickly open the phone lines and see if we can take some comments before we go on the show today. Our next point of call would be the Vanguard newspaper. Post shift is wrong deal by wrong man, says Tinubu. Details of that on page 8 of the Vanguard. The big story here: will crush Boko Haram in 6 weeks. Dasuki, the writers, says new polls dates will not be shifted again. Boko Haram dismisses threat from regional forces, opens new war front in the Niger Republic. I don't know if you've seen the video. Abubakar Shekau came up again, I think yesterday, saying that the combination of Nigeria, Cameroon and Niger, what they call the regional force, and Chad, would not be able to take them down. But do you believe in the pronouncement of Dasuki that we will crush Boko Haram in 6 weeks?
Well, if you believe this, you can believe anything. Dasuki has said several things about this Boko Haram, that they went to have meeting in UK with Boko Haram loyalists, Boko Haram representatives, and everything turned out to be nothing. So Dasuki is not in a position to even give us this kind of information anymore. They might have their strategy. Being the security advisor, maybe he has something up his sleeve. I wouldn't know, I'm not a security man. But he won't come and disclose his strategy on the pages of paper.
On the papers.
He can only make pronouncements and propaganda. So, I don't see...
Just a minute. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. Welcome to Call Digest.
Yeah, I'm calling from Benin.
From Benin.
Yeah, good morning.
Please turn down the volume of your TV set. Can you do that?
Yeah, I've done that already, please.
What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Ogbefun and I'm calling from Benin.
How's Benin today, Ogbefun?
Well, we thank God Benin is fine.
All right, go ahead with your contribution.
Yes, you see, sometimes I laugh over issue when, like this Oga there, I thank him so much, but sometimes I begin to wonder if he himself is even in Nigeria. Because you see this country, there is nothing that is not possible. Even you there, I'm surprised for you to say that, look, the government of our president, the present president, now the Jonathan administration, I have seen it that he's afraid of Buhari. So he's afraid. He cannot fight. He cannot withstand it. Because you know the implication of Buhari coming into power. He's there. So what he's going to do is to hand over to military. That is what this man is planning. And you sitting there telling...
Are you there, Ogbefo?
Look, this election, Jonathan is going to hand over to military. That is his intention, and that is what he will do. So you should just know that and keep it. There will be no election. Election will be postponed, and it will be postponed. So just cancel this issue of election. He's going to hand it over to military because he's afraid. That's the so Buhari is leaving, and Buhari we want. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for your contribution. You want to quickly react to that?
Yeah, his contribution is from the end of a school of thought. That is the third force, thinking that they will hand over to the military. I don't believe that. Nigeria is more civilized, more sophisticated, more matured in terms of democratic practice. So there is no way any military man will come and say, I, General Kinikan, I hereby dissolve the National Assembly. Which National Assembly?
You believe that Nigeria has gone past
that?
Well,
we have passed those ages. Look, which radio station do you want to go and do your announcement? When you have over 75 radio stations, you are just going to divide the country. He cannot do it. Jonathan cannot hand over to a military. That I can tell you. He had gone to school for whatever reason, whether he has his PhD or he didn't have. He has school cert, he has masters, he has degree. So whether you are now querying his a PhD is a different ball game outrightly.
Let me take this last call before we go on the show today. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, listen.
Welcome to Call Digest. What's your name?
My name is Kazim from Idiaraba.
Kazim from Idiaraba.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead with your contribution, Kazim.
Yeah. What I want to add to is that the federal government has failed us. PDP has failed us. Because everybody is watching Nigeria. Everybody is watching us as giants of Africa. And we are doing something very, very important in our life to this country. This election is the most important to us. But take a look on all what is happening. This shows that we don't even know what we are doing. We don't take the election so important. We don't take our country so important. We don't take anything serious in this country. So, let me tell you, listen, all this plan that PDP are doing by planning on handing over to the military or so whatsoever.
Nobody said PDP is handing over to the oh my. Well, that's what we're going again. Nobody said PDP is not planning to hand over to military, and you didn't hear that on this platform, for crying out loud. It was Ogbefun's figment of imagination, his own view. Okay, and that's not our opinion on this platform. We have to wrap up this show today. What exactly would be your advice for the Nigerian electorate? Many have started talking about voter apathy, that 6 weeks is too long for the highly enthusiastic Nigerian electorate.
No, if you have the capacity to spend, if somebody is sentenced to jail, for instance, and you are sentenced to 10 years, and at the end of the 10th year, it remains for 3 more days, and you are in a hurry. What about all the time you have spent in jail? Why are you in a hurry? The point is, 6 weeks is not too long, though it's unfortunate that it has to be extended. I am not in support of the extension. But if it's going to make more people to get their PVC and for the security agencies to get their acts together, I think it's okay. Because even when there are breakdowns of law and order, if on February 14, because the February 14 was also a very bad day, it's a day for lovers, they will not allow people to go out. Because people will stay indoors thinking that there will be violence. After the
some already got excuse for not taking their girlfriends and their wives out
now,
of the day.
Even not just girlfriends, your wives, your kids, they want you to take them out on February 14. Will you take them out on the day of an election? You don't know what will come out of the election. Some talks could just be rioting somewhere. So we have to believe that we have to be optimistic, we have to pray, we have to agree within ourselves that 6 weeks is nothing, it's just a date.
Okay.
So we'll get there and move on.
Thank you
it's
very
just
much.
that we must insist that May 29 must not change.
It's all right. Thank you very much for joining us today. I've been speaking with BOLA ONANUGA. He's the MD, Editor-in-Chief of Financial Standard, as well as a public affairs analyst. It's good to have you join us always.
My pleasure.
We're counting down for the 6 days to go down to the March 28 and April 11 elections, and I hope that you will take advantage of this 4 weeks extension by INEC to go get your PVCs. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. We'll be back tomorrow for more exciting editions. Stay with us.
You can now watch Core TV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to Core TV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click Core TV, leave a space, then News. Core TV News, a 24-hour news station.